How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is currently running its games under $15 sale and its Critics' Choice sale. We're going to be looking at deals under $10. Nothing under the price of $5 will be covered in this video. We'll do a separate video on that because there's a lot of stuff under the price of $10 to go over. So let's not waste any time, and let's get right into it. And let's start things off with the Batman Arkham Collection, which this is just a disgustingly good deal. I think this is a new low price for this collection. It's 90% off for $5.99. I believe it typically goes down to $8.99. So like, you know, at $8.99 it was a stupid good deal. At $5.99, this pretty much is like highway robbery. Like, this is just dumb how cheap it is. Of course, you got Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, and Batman Arkham Knight. All three games are really, really good. You can go back and forth with which game you like the best. Some people like Arkham Knight the best. I personally like Arkham City the best. A lot of people like Arkham Asylum the best. They're all really, really good games. And the thing about Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, I went back and played through them a few years ago, and bear in mind, Arkham Asylum came out back in 2009, so it's been like 14 years since it's come out, and the few years ago that I played through it again, I had a really good time with it, and I felt the game held up really, really strongly. Like, visually, it still looks good, combat is great, narratively, obviously excellent. I'm not like a big DC guy, was never a big Batman guy, but Batman Arkham was really what got me to appreciate Batman more. Again, this collection for $6 is stupid good. Definitely pick it up. It's a great, great buy. Next up, Dishonored 2, 70% off for $8.99. Now, this has been a little bit cheaper. I believe it's been as low as $6, which at that price point, it's excellent. At $9, it's still really darn good, and Dishonored is just a great game. Had a really good art style that I felt it has aged really well. Not to say that this game is old. It came out back at the end of 2016. Combat-wise, it's really good. Has a lot of versatility in how you play the game. You could go about it a variety of different ways. You have two playable main characters. Just a quality game all around, and I think $9 if you're a fan of action stealth games, you'll probably end up really enjoying it. There is a free demo available as well if you'd like to check that out. Next up, we have Darksiders Furies Collection, War and Death. Now, this includes Darksiders War Master Edition as well as Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. It's Darksiders 1 and 2, essentially. They're both pretty good action titles. I wouldn't say, like, really, really great action games. They're just pretty good and well-made action games that I think at this price point, you know, essentially $3 a pop. A good buy for each of them. Darksiders 1 got a lot of hype and anticipation around it, and sometimes I remember people would say it was like The Legend of Zelda mixed with the God of War, and I didn't like that saying just because those are two franchises that are heralded at such a high level, and Darksiders is absolutely not at that level. I can understand why people make that, like, comparison, but it's just Darksiders is comfortably at a tier or two below those franchises. It's still good. $6 for this collection I think is really great, so go check that out. Next up, Tales of BERSERIA, 60% off for $7.99. For a lot of people, Tales of BERSERIA is the Tales of game they like the most. I wouldn't go that far. What I would say is that Tales of BERSERIA has one of the most compelling main characters in any JRPG. Just not in any Tales of game, but any JRPG. Velvet is a character that you can understand why she's the way she is. It's not just Velvet's the way she is for the sake of being the way she is. No, she's a darker main character, but that really adds a different tone to the main story of the game, and the rest of the cast is really strong as well. As far as everything else, it's your Tales of fare that works pretty well. The combat's pretty decent. Game length-wise, you know, it's a sizable experience, but the narrative is really strong, and again, just a great, great main character. $8 for Tales of Berseria. Excellent deal. Strong recommendation there. Next up, we've got Prey 2017. It is down to $7.49. Obviously, an excellent deal here for Prey, one of the most atmospheric first-person titles that you can come across. It's one of those games that didn't get the love that, in my opinion, it deserved. I know some people, I believe it was somebody from Arcane, or formerly from Arcane, talked about how they kind of got shoehorned into calling this game Prey when it really didn't have much association with that original Prey title. Whatever the case may be, you know, Prey isn't like an IP that is near and dear to a lot of people's heart. You go into this as a brand new experience, and it's a really, really good one, and the atmosphere and the tone in this game is just so well done. It's got a little bit of a psychological vibe to it that I think works really well. $7.49, great price. It is available through Plus Extra, so you can play it that way as well. Wolfenstein: The New Order is next up, 70% off for $6, also available on Plus Extra. Interesting how all these Bethesda games are available on Plus Extra, obviously available on Game Pass as well. $6 for Wolfenstein: The New Order is great though. A really solid and well-made first-person shooter by Machine Games, which I don't even think we know what they're working on next, so whatever they're working on is probably relatively far along, but probably going to be an Xbox exclusive, so that's neither here nor there. The New Order was a really solid narrative-driven first-person shooter. Obviously, it's Wolfenstein, so it gets a little bit over the top at points, but I thought the game was, you know, fast-paced, high-octane, action-heavy, a lot of great moments. Would be nice if we got a full-on PS5 upgrade for it, but hey, what can you do? A game from 2014, so the likelihood of a full upgrade is pretty minimal, but $6 for Wolfenstein: The New Order I think is quite good, so check that out. Next up, we've got Zone of the Enders, the second runner, Mars. Loved this game, and it's a game that, obviously, I am a big advocate for big budget mecha games. This obviously came out back in the PS2 era, but at the time of it coming out, it was a pretty notable release. Super over the top. It's exactly what I want out of a mecha title. We got Armored Core 6. Hopefully that game will deliver what I've wanted out of a mecha title all these years, but Zone of the Enders was a really good one. Narratively interesting as well. Solid soundtrack. Action gameplay was good. $5.99 I think is a great buy. Unfortunately, it's not the collection, which it would have been great if we got both titles, but what can you do? You've got the second runner here, so we'll take what we can get. $6 for it, I think, is really good. Next up, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, 85% off for $9. Ni no Kuni as a franchise, I don't know if it's going to be a series that Bandai Namco remains more invested into, but Ni no Kuni 1 was really good. Ni no Kuni 2, I don't think was as good, but still a rather good game. I think narratively, it's strong. I think the art style is just fantastic, and it's a JRPG that I think is accessible to not only people that haven't played JRPGs, but even like a younger gamer. It's really accessible to just about anyone, and an engaging game all around. A lot of content in it as well. Obviously, it was done by Level 5, who knows what the status of Level 5 is right now, so it is a little bit of a bummer, but you know, we'll see what happens with them. And as far as Ni no Kuni 2 goes, it's a great buy, especially at this price, so hopefully more people check it out. $9, I think, is a solid pickup. Next up, baby, let's go. Order 1886, 50% off for $9.99. Look, I don't disagree with you guys that are like, yo, bro, why do you keep recommending the Order, blah, 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 the game was trash, it was one of the most disappointing games on the PS4. Yo, I agree with you on a lot of those aspects, but the fact is, you're not spending $60 on this game anymore. Would I say that ideally you'd be spending $4.99 instead of $9.99? Sure, I agree with you, but the Order 1886, I replayed it not too long ago, like a couple years ago, and I was like, man, there was really the infrastructure of something that could have been a really, really cool IP. Am I saying that it was gonna be a God of War tier IP for Sony? No, but I think the world that they crafted here in the Order was really cool, and I think it could have ultimately evolved into something that was a lot bigger than what ultimately it ended up being, but this contained game in Order 1886. I think the vibe is great in the game. The gameplay is a standard cover-based third-person shooter. Like, it's not blowaway. Obviously, from a technical standpoint, it is phenomenal. Even all these years later, it is tremendous. And from a, you know, voice acting and story standpoint, super, super interesting. Super short game. You know, you're playing a lot of 80-hour games these days, and know you guys have a lot of those in your backlog. Sometimes it's nice to have a solid 6-hour experience that you can beat in literally one day, and then you can move on with your life. Super easy platinum trophy if you're into that. You might need a guide just to find all the collectibles, but it's pretty darn easy. $9.99 for it is great, so I think it's a good buy at this price point. Absolutely don't pay, you know, the $20 it is normally, and you know, I was one of the kids that spent $60 on it all those years ago, so I'm there with you guys that felt ripped off by it back in February of 2015, but now at this price, I think it's a pretty decent pickup. Next up, we got Slay the Spire, 60% off for $9.99. This game shocked me in how good it was. Marrying a card game and a roguelike, when I initially heard about this game, I was like, yo, this game sounds like something that's absolute nonsense, and then I played it right as it was leaving early access on Steam, and I was just blown away. It's a game that starts off super simple, but then as you like go through the game and realize, okay, there's actually a great level of depth to it, and how you build your deck, how you structure your deck, so it's not like you're just padding it out and you want to keep the right cards at the right time, and the different combinations and whatnot. It's just a game that's super creative and really unique, and At this point, we do see a lot of these card game roguelikes, but Slay the Spire was a really good one that I enjoyed, and, you know, it can become a super addicting experience as well. I believe it was a Plus title at some point, but right now for $9.99, I think it's a good buy, and I would give it a shout. Couple more deals to go over, stuff that you guys are going to know about. Uncharted the Nathan Drake Collection, 50% off for $9.99, available on Plus Premium, but I like to give this a shout since everybody hates Plus Premium. Nathan Drake Collection is great. Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. Uncharted 1 shows its age. Uncharted 2 and 3 are still tremendous games that, to an extent, they show their age as well, but in my opinion, Uncharted 2 is one of the best games ever made. Like, as far as pacing goes, and as far as just being a quality action-adventure game, I think Uncharted 2 is tremendous. Uncharted 1 is still good. Like, going back and playing Uncharted 1, you're still probably gonna have a solid time with it. It's just, you know, 2007 games are, you know, kind of that era where they do show their age, and Uncharted 1 is no exception. Uncharted 3, great as well. All 3 titles for $9.99, no-brainer there. Hopefully, we do get a new Uncharted game. I don't care who's working on it. More Uncharted is a great thing, and that PlayStation ad did leave me wanting more Uncharted. Lastly, I do want to note Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is 60% off for $7.99. Great game, great VR component as well if you do want to check it out, although at this point a lot of you guys are going to be migrating to VR too, so that's a little bit of a bummer. You know, this is kind of the game that brought Resident Evil back to the forefront for a lot of people, and yeah, it turned out to be great. Great atmosphere, really a return to form, has that engrossing survival horror theme to it as well. $8 I think is an excellent pickup, so go check that out. Really good buy, and yeah, sub $10 for Resident Evil 7 is a no-brainer, and that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of retreads as far as the deals go, but hopefully we'll have some new additions to our under $5 video, but if you don't have any of these titles, definitely worthwhile to add them to your library, and especially like Batman Arkham Collection, that deal is just disgustingly good. If you yourself already own it, maybe recommend it to a friend as well, because that deal is just so good. That'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.